I am Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher 33. And right before I started to turn this camera on, had a nice, interesting combination of notes in the world behind me. Had this nice soothing sound of the wind blowing, and in the background a not so soothing sound of a siren, all overlaid on top of one another in an interesting symphony. And the subject I'm going to talk on today is going to be indirectly related to sound, to frequency and vibration. And that is the importance of words, or the lack thereof. You see, when I was growing up, I was always taught that actions speak louder than words. What you do is far more important than what comes out of your mouth. And even in the Bible, it's like you shall know one's character by their fruits. You know by the results what they create. But yet, in our day and age, there seems to be such a great importance on the words. What somebody says. What's the narrative coming out of their mouth? And these algorithms on social media in our day of memes and tweets, certain words, combinations of words, and with a meme you have words and an image, certain things get traction and grab the attention of people very easily. And so much importance is put on these words by people who you don't know, people who you don't see, people who you don't interact with. So much emphasis is put on their words. And next thing you know, people are echoing the words of someone else, believing them to be their own. And judging other people for their words, for using different words and emotionally attaching to different words that one does. And I'm guilty of that too. I do it as well in my own way. The way I do it is usually if I see a cliche and then I'm around someone and I see them speaking a cliche over and over again, and a cliche that's showed up on social media becomes a common speak of someone, I start to judge them a little bit. Judge them as maybe being less discerning, less intelligent. And what I choose to do is usually I don't invest as much of my personal time in people that I see speaking in such a way. But I want to bring it back to what I started to, action. Why is it so many people put so much emphasis on words of people and not enough on the actions, not enough on the character of someone, what they do? As I believe that our words are important, but it's ultimately what we do. I know many great people who don't say a whole lot of words, but they are truly great people because of what they do, because of who they are, how they show up in the world. And they say very little. They speak very softly when they do speak. And there's something to that. And I wonder what it would be like if more people put more emphasis on how they show up, on their actions. Or, like I mentioned in another video, speaking the truth and embodying the truth, having congruence with one's words and one's actions. That's something I always intend to do and intend to be. I always intend to be what I say. And if I say something, that I will follow through on it. That's another issue with words. You have so many people who care about being liked, who care about being nice. There's a difference between being nice and being kind. And who want to be pleasant to other people and will make promises that they have no intention on following through with, or agree to things that they have no intention on following through with because they want to fit in. And I find this to be a problem of sorts. I mean, what would the world be like if more people did what they said, and when they opened their mouth, they knew that they were going to be held accountable for their words? How would that change if people showed up in that kind of way as opposed to what we have now? Now, do I think the answer to this is more censorship, shutting off people's free speech, shutting off people's right to speak like an idiot? No, not at all. Absolutely not. I do think the solution always is more discernment. I think when we have something presented in front of us, having the option to ask the question, does this have any real value in my life, engaging in this way and giving attention to people who engage in this way, or is there a better way to do things? And who is engaging in the world in a way that has more value? And maybe I can send more support to those people, and maybe I can be one of those people myself, as someone who's adding genuine value as opposed to someone who's just chattering and jabbering and creating more dysfunction. So I always believe that what you give your attention to is always what is going to be the most powerful in your world, and also what shapes out there. So I think whenever there's a lot of chatter and spaces with a lot of chatter and people who are getting a lot of attention for running their mouths but offering little value or just being incongruent with their words and actions, I do my best to just not feed that, not give those individuals attention. I try not to talk about people who are in that space if I can help it. And I'm thankful for free speech, and I'm thankful for that freedom of information and the flow of information. Even when we have these algorithms that essentially latch on to certain things and try to funnel our attention in directions, when you know the mechanism of how something is happening, then you have that power of choice restored to you. And I believe it's only through choice that we can be our best. I believe it's only through that freedom of choice, that freedom of will, that we can create and engage and co-create with the world around us in the best possible way. So that being said, I've talked long enough. I'm going to go on about my day and end this transmission and do my best to be a man of action. Yeah, Bruce Lee, big fan of mine. Bruce Lee, man of action. Be the action hero that I always aspired to be in how I engage with the world. Be well. I'll see you on the other side.